I'm sure you've noticed that in the daily news that President Trump's efforts to improve efficiency of the federal government and to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. Though I understand you've had a very limited role currently in advising Secretary Bessent on these issues, I'd like to give you an opportunity to provide your perspective on these efforts. For example, what is your understanding of the focus of the President's efforts? How does one ensure that taxpayer money is well spent? And based on your understanding of current and planned initiatives at Treasury and the IRS, are all necessary and customary safeguards in place to protect the integrity of Treasury's payment systems and processes, as well as personally identifiable information?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you noted, I'm currently serving as a counselor to the Secretary. In that role, I do not have any administrative or budgetary authority. I merely advise the Secretary on policies he may implement. As part of preparing for today, I have been briefed on some of the activities that we are engaged in at both the Bureau of Fiscal Service and at the IRS. And it's my understanding that the objective is to improve the effectiveness of those systems and provide modern levels of customer service, privacy, and collections at the IRS, as the Secretary has promised. When it comes to the Bureau of Fiscal Service, the GAO has reported that a number of departments and agencies in the federal government fail their audits for lack of controls. And so my understanding of what is occurring at the Bureau of Fiscal Service is that they are working to increase the required information that is provided when a department or agency submits a payment file for processing by Treasury. In the past, various fields were allowed to remain vacant or incomplete, and what some of the changes are is to require, for instance, that every payment have the account symbol corresponding to the payment that's being made. The purpose of this is to help departments and agencies better understand how money is being spent and be more accountable to Congress and to the American people for those funds.
Thank you. There's a broad agreement that despite decades of effort and billions of dollars in funding of IRS IT systems, that they fall far short of what taxpayers deserve. Mismanagement and poor planning have significantly contributed to the IRS's IT problems. For example, in January of this year, the GAO highlighted how most IRS modernization plans dealing with its archaic systems have failed to include this a key component that you've talked about, a plan for actually retiring the outdated system. This echoes similar concerns that my colleagues and I have voiced over the years, that we have an insufficient IRS strategic operating plan. Meanwhile, despite well-intentioned efforts, the IRS's ability to serve taxpayers has barely budged. This is despite all those billions in additional funding provided in the Democrats' recent partisan reconciliation bill, most of which went to inefficiently supersizing IRS enforcement. I understand that President and Secretary Bessent are interested in taking a different approach at the IRS, both by trimming waste and also planning for and investing in real technological change. I understand that all evaluation and modernization work will be undertaken using usual and customary safeguards, including not exposing any taxpayer's personally identifiable information. And I also understand Secretary Bessent is fully committed to ensuring that the tax filing season will not be disrupted by these processes. Can you confirm my understanding and provide any additional detail about efficiency and modernization at the IRS?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The Secretary's objective is to ensure that the American people realize a 2025 experience when they interact with the IRS. And he has prioritized collection, customer service, and privacy. And the challenge that we have is that both Democrat and Republican administrations have recognized that the IRS is built on top, the technology at the IRS is built on top of 1960s systems. In fact, when I met with the Deputy Secretary who served during the Biden administration, one of the main items he discussed with me was the need to address IRS modernization. What we're doing is asking for a review of what systems are being built at the IRS. We have people who have worked with financial institutions and technology companies who understand how to build modern systems architecture, and it makes sense to have them come in and look at the contracts that have been signed for part of this modernization to ensure that the right systems, the right system architecture is being created to provide that level of 2025 service to the American people.
Thank you. Senator Wyden.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Faulkender, as I noted in my opening statement,